Do you feel like you start every year with big dreams and end up feeling stuck halfway? You're not alone. As a pastor's wife, I've made countless, and I mean countless resolutions that just didn't stick until I knew what to do and some of the things that have been affecting me. Today, I'll be sharing some of the things I've learned along the way and the strategies that I've employed that has helped me to at least achieve some of my New Year resolutions and goals. And if you notice, I said some, which means it's not all of them that we are realized. This is also because not all resolutions and goals are the same. As we apply some common principles to goal setting and achievement, we must also be aware that no one cap fits all of our different resolutions and goals. So let's talk about why and how we can attain to our goals and our New Year resolutions and achievement for this year 2025. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to Times of Refreshing Encouragement for Pastor's Wife. My name is Toyin Akonle, and if you're new here, we're so glad to have you here. We'll talk about our callings, our challenges, and our joy. So please make sure you always come back to check up our content so that at least we can build one another. And today we're going to be talking about why New Year resolution do not work for pastors' wives. So let's start by looking at common reasons why resolutions and goals fail. The first one we want to talk about is unrealistic expectations. We often set goals that does not really align with our season of life. Some of the earlier New Year resolutions that I've made when my now grown-up children were very young always failed. For example, trying to juggle ministry, family, and full-time employment as a school administrator and then signing up for a new fitness membership always end up failing. I remember so well. And that's because I do not have any realistic plan for after-school care for my children. And so when we all get back home, between my husband and myself, there are homework to help the children with, there are school papers to sign, there's dinner to be made, and many, many more things to do. And by the time we had gone through all this, we are either too tired to go to the gym or the fitness club that we just signed up for, or we have completely lost interest in it. And many times we will procrastinate, saying, oh, we're going to go the next day, and next day never actually comes until we finally cancel our membership. But as our children grew up and we could officially leave them by themselves, that particular resolution and goal was taken care of completely, and we're able to move even to the next one. So it is important for you to recognize the season in your life and make sure it's a great factor for consideration in your goal setting. The next thing is lack of accountability. As pastor's wife, we may feel isolated or unable to share our struggles with others. And without the adequate support, it's easy to lose motivation. I believe that you and I, as pastor's wife, can actually relate with this. Members of our church and other people look unto us for encouragement. They look unto us for motivation and even guidance and leadership. They also look up to us to hold them accountable in some of the things that they have shared with us. It therefore makes it quite tricky and difficult for the table to be turned, and we are now the one needing help navigating the achievement and realization of our New Year's resolution and our set goals for the year. But in the real sense of it, there's nothing wrong in us asking for help from others, as they might be able to provide the push that we need or the assistance that we're looking for. Some years back, at the beginning of that particular year, I invited an academic professor in our church to speak to us about time management, knowing that time management is very crucial in achieving our goals and New Year resolutions. It was enlightening, to say the least, and I also benefited from it. And this is why it is important for you and I to have people in our lives also who can be mentors, encouragers, who can also guide us so that we can confide them rub minds with them, and also get motivation from them when we do need it. So look for opportunities to network with other pastors' wives. Learn from older pastors' wives who have been proven and tested in the ministry. The next one is overloaded schedule. All that we have on our plate as pastors' wives, career women, entrepreneur, and much more can actually at times become a deterrent to achieving our goals and resolution for the year. But if you and I have good prioritization of all that we need to do and good time management, we'll still be able to achieve all that we have set our minds on. The next one is misaligned priorities. Sometimes we focus on what's urgent instead of what is important. For instance, prioritizing church needs over your personal spiritual growth. Don't get me wrong, church needs are super important. But so that you can genuinely, within your God-given grace, meet the church needs, you must first take care of your own spiritual needs and grow in them so that you can be relevant in God's service. So even though we are called alongside our husbands, our personal growth is also priority. We must learn to look at things objectively and distinguish between needs and priorities in our goals and resolutions. Resolutions and goals will always fail if there's no concrete action plan in place. You know, concrete action plans have been known and have been said to help reduce or even eliminate failures. I remember the popular saying that if you fail to plan, you have already planned to fail. This is why it is important to pen down or type our goals and resolutions and have some concrete action plans assigned to them even as they come to us. This will give us things to work with even as we work our goals and resolutions. We can also research into goals and resolutions that are similar to ours. Read up on them, look for what has worked for those who have attained those goals and what things work for them. This will be a great way in helping you put your concrete plans in place. It's easy to say, I want to grow spiritually this year. I want to lose weight this year. I want to read many books. But without specific steps, it becomes just a wish. And last but not the least, let's look at the biblical perspective. So we must surrender our resolutions, our goals, and achievements for the year into God's hands. Proverbs 16:9 says, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes itself. It's a reminder that while human beings have the abilities to plan and make decisions, God is ultimately in control. And when we do so, we're asking and trusting Him to guide us and to help us in achieving our goals and resolutions for the year. Surrendering your plans to God is key to success, and good success at that. And sometimes we fail because we don't include God in our planning. Earlier, we talked about planning as a key to success, the success of our goals and resolution for the year. But better still, acknowledging God in every step of the process brings huge achievement and indisputable success. So let's remember to include God in our planning to achieve our goals and resolution for 2025. So let's look at some practical steps to achieving our resolutions and goals for 2025. Start small. Yes, we want to achieve a lot, but we have to acknowledge the fact that some of the best things that you can achieve are not rushed, they take time. So instead of planning to read 10 books like in a month, you can decide to start by reading 2 books in a month, which is achievable. Also, instead of planning to lose 100 pounds in a month, you can start by trying to achieve losing 10 pounds in a month, and that would help you. The number 2 thing is to use accountability partners. Find a prayer partner or group of pastors' wives to check in with regularly, as this will help you. Also, set SMART goals. Remember, let your goals be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, you can say that I would have read 2 devotional books for my personal group by March, instead of saying 20 books by March, which is not achievable. Also learn to create margin in your schedules. This will help you to leave room for rest, because overburdening yourself might lead to burnout and not blessings. Celebrate little and small victories. It is very important for you to celebrate all the victories, all the steps, all the things you have achieved in your goals to help you to want to do much more in your goals. So let me ask you today, have you struggled with keeping your resolutions? If that's you, please share your story in the comments below so that we can all glean from it. And since we have talked about concrete action plans in this episode of Times of Refreshing, and as a life coach, I want us to task ourselves. Write down a goal for this year that you want to achieve and ask God to be a part of it, to give you wisdom so that you can achieve it. Remember, progress is better than perfection. Commit your year to God, trust in Him, follow the steps we have talked about here, and you'll be able to achieve your resolution and goals this year. And before you go, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Like, share, hit the notification bell so that you know every time our broadcast comes up. Until our next broadcast, this is wishing you the best achievement in your New Year resolutions and goals for this year. Stay motivated, stay focused, and stay blessed. Bye-bye.